Spring has sprung. The birds are singing. The plants are poking their little heads out. And people are getting up and going out. They're getting their ass off the couch. And they're going places. They're going to lots of events. The music festivals are happening, lots of things are happening now that it's springtime and we're rolling into summer. So I will be discussing some spring/summer fragrances that I love, that I enjoy wearing. And these are the two fragrances, Aqua Di Gioia by Giorgio Armani and Prada Candy Gloss. Now, I did end up picking the gloss over the regular Prada Candy. I did smell both. I did smell the original. And I chose the gloss. Well, I'm going to get into that later on in the video. But yeah, so these are the two fragrances I will be discussing today. I'm talking about light-hearted perfumes in this video. Things for the day, things that you wear out to brunch, out to lunch, things that you wear in the afternoon, to certain events. So let's get into it. Now, just because Prada Candy has been discontinued, I'm not 100% sure if it was or not, but I believe the Prada Candy Gloss has been discontinued. Just because it has been discontinued does not mean you can't get your hands on it. All you have to do is find an independent retailer, perfume retailer, or an independent perfume company online or a certain store, and you will be able to find gloss, or you will be able to find it on eBay. Just because a perfume house or a designer brand cancels a perfume does not mean you cannot get your hands on it, especially if they discontinued it recently. If they discontinued it recently, you can definitely find it still available in certain stores and with certain companies because it's been discontinued recently. If it has been a few years, for example, Midnight Poison by Dior, it might be harder and harder to get your hands on it. But if it's just like 1 year, for 1 year it's been canceled, or 2-3 years, then you should be able to find it around still in stock. So yes, spring is here and summer is coming up shortly, and these scents to me are very, very spring, very, very summer. This is an aquatic scent, an aquatic floral scent, and very fresh, very spring, very light-hearted. And these are both very approachable scents. There's no sort of depth or mystery, in my opinion, with these scents, especially with the Prada Candy range. They're very gourmand. Gourmand are very sweet scents, very smells like candy, smells like desserts and pastries, very, very girly and feminine. So the whole kind of Prada Candy line is very feminine and very girly. And I picked the girliest one of all, which is the Prada Candy Gloss. The reason I picked this, because I don't usually go for very feminine scents, but the reason I picked this is because it is a sour cherry scent. And if I am picking a fruity scent or a gourmand scent, I love or often go for things with berries in them. For example, Scandalous by Victoria's Secrets, which was sadly discontinued, had raspberries in it. Black Excess by Paco Rabanne. I know it's not gourmand, but I like how it has the cranberries in it. Petite Robe Noire by Guerlain also has cherry. So the reason why I chose this, because I don't usually go for fruity, sweet gourmand scents, unless it's something really distinct and unique. The reason I like this is because of the sour cherry. I love tart. This is like a light cherry tart to me. I really, really enjoy it. I do love tart fragrances. I have a Linzer cookie here. So, tart fragrances for me remind me of tarts, basically. It reminds me of food or pastries. And I'm just gonna try a little bit of this. I love anything with berries in it in terms of fragrances. So that's why I went for the Prada Candy Gloss over the regular original Prada Candy, because the original Prada Candy, you know, was caramelly. It was kind of like a little bit more low-key than this. I found it kind of lightweight, and I found it a bit, even this one is lightweight, you know, in terms of projection and stillage, but I just found the Prada Candy just to be a little bit too generic for my taste. Now, even though this is slightly generic, or even this is slightly generic, they still have a bit of an edge to them that make them stand out to me personally. They do have a bit of an edge to them that make them stand out. What edge is that? Well, once I get into the notes and the ingredients in these two perfumes, you will understand why they have an edge. Like I said, this is an aquatic floral. Not everyone can do aquatics right. Not everyone gets aquatics right, but this one has definitely stood the test of time. It does smell a little bit more citrusy with the reformulation, but the original, you know, OG, I love, and there's nothing out there like it. You can't get your hands on it. Anything like this. Escada Turquoise Summer was my first aquatic scent, and I got that when I was a bit younger. And of course, you know, those kind of Escada perfumes are definitely good for teenagers, younger girls. So this one, when I finally got this one, it was more sophisticated. It was more grown up. I definitely get a slightly mature feel with this. However, it's not boring. It's not like a boring, mature feel. It's a feel that is, it's sophisticated and clean and fresh, but it's not like dry, and it's not stuck up and stooshy. This is fun. This is like going to Ibiza, partying on the beach. This has that vibe, like a summer vibe, going to parties on the beach or lounging on the beach, like summer vacation. When I smell this, I just get reminded of summer vacation. I get reminded of chilling on the beach. I would get reminded of summer weddings, spring and summer weddings with this fragrance, because it's kind of like, it's a little bit formal because with the floral elements in it. It's not pure water, it's not pure aquatic. The floral elements give this a more sophisticated edge. It has this kind of like, it has a classy, elegant vibe to it without being too powdery and stooshy and stuck up. Like, it has a fun vibe. I'm talking about two completely different vibes, because this perfume to me, you know, she's my cherry pie. She's my cherry pie. This, you need to like cherries, you need to like berries, obviously, with this. And you also have to be someone that's into Y2K 2000s, because this to me just oozes Y2K, oozes 2000s, late 90s. Like it oozes like the Valley Girl, Legally Blonde, Tamagotchi age, wearing jelly slippers, wearing low riding pants, denim mini skirts, like Louis Vuitton, you know, baby fat. Like this is Y2K. This just brings me back to the Y2K. I'm sure a lot of people agree. Just like the ultra pink bottle, like this kind of ultra pink was very in style during the Y2K fashion, especially, you know, with Mean Girls and all that. Like that movie, only wear pink on Wednesdays. On Wednesdays we only wear pink. Yeah, so this is definitely, if you are a 90s baby, like late 90s baby or a 2000s kid, you will love this, because it will just bring back all those memories of when you were a child in the 2000s. So yes, these are both modern, okay? These are both modern. There's nothing really vintagey about them. These bottles are modern. They're modern, they are streamlined. Yeah, so they're nice enough. I mean, I don't really, for me it's more about the scent. I do like when people design really nice bottles with fragrances, but Out of these two bottles, I think the Prada Candy is the nicest. That doesn't mean I don't like Aqua Di Gioia. Their new bottle it looks slightly nicer because of the top, but it's just modern, just streamlined in terms of like aesthetic of the bottle. It's just modern and streamlined. So, but I do enjoy them. I do enjoy the bottles. They will definitely look nice on your vanity. They will be aesthetically pleasing in terms of decoration in your bedroom and all that. So let's get into more details. Like I was mentioning before, Aqua Di Gioia has that Ibiza. It has that Ibiza vibe. It has a Saint-Tropez, you know, the kind of like Mediterranean vibe, like summers in the Mediterranean, Amalfi Coast. It has that Saint-Tropez. It has Nice and Cannes, you know, Cannes Film Festival. It has that vibe to it, very like Mediterranean, like summertime in the Mediterranean. Not really summertime in England, no, not summertime in Ireland with a bunch of rain. Summertime with a lot of sun, tanning on the beach, you know, even Spain and Portugal, Salau in Spain, you know. So that's the vibe that this gives off. It's a little bit stooshy, it's a little bit classy, but not classy and formal, classy and fun, classy and summery, classy and party. So it has a fun edge to it because it's an aquatic, right? And Prada Candy Gloss is like cherry pie. It is gourmand and sweet, very, 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 very girly. You need to be a girly girl definitely to enjoy this, because like this, you know, it's like kind of like champagne. It's kind of like a summer spritzer. It's sweet, but not sicklingly sweet. It's not sicklingly sweet. It's sweet enough, but it has a little bit of a champagne edge to where it's not borderline overly sociopathic sweet. This one, on the other hand, this is like Harajuku. You know Harajuku, where you just go all out with your fashion. You just, if you're being a girly girl in Harajuku, you are all out girly girl. This is like Gwen Stefani, like very, very Libra, very over the top, like a Libra woman. This is what I imagine, like someone that's very like feminine, someone that likes Y2K fashion, 2000s fashion, somebody that is very girly, very feminine, likes designer clothing, stuff like that. But like stuff like Von Dutch, like throwbacks, like Baby Fat, Von Dutch, Louis Vuitton, Coach and all that. Like this definitely gives off that vibe to me personally. And it's a gourmand scent, like I was saying. So they describe this as a floral gourmand scent, and I do get some of the floral elements in it, but the sour cherry is the top note in this. Sour cherry and cassis those are the top notes in Prada Candy. Yes, and the middle notes are peach, rose, and orange blossom. The peach, I don't really understand. I'm just gonna spray it, okay? I don't really understand why the peach is in there. I don't really see the purpose of the peach being in it. The sour cherry and cassis is definitely very strong. The sour cherry is definitely the strongest. I'm just gonna give it some time to settle down on the skin, because what I really love about this, I forgot to mention, what I really love about this is the dry down. The dry down is like powdery, like it just develops into something more vanilla, something more of like a pastry. Because when you first spray it, it's definitely very fruity. It's definitely very fruity at the beginning with the cherry and the peach. But, and I mean the floral elements are in there, but it smells a little bit more fruity to me than floral. This one definitely you can smell the floral more, but this one to me is very, very like, very fruity and like a pastry, like a gourmand scent. The dry down, oh my god, I'm gonna give it some more time, but it's starting to It's starting to like get rid of the obnoxious fruits and starting to dry down into like a really nice cherry pastry tart, which is what I love. So benzoin, heliotrope, musk, vanilla, and almond are the base notes in this. And I am someone that loves almonds in scents and in pastries and desserts and all that. I love the smell of almond. I love the smell of almond in almond extract, and I love the smell of almond in desserts. So I do get a little bit of that almond in there, and I enjoy that because it makes it smell more like patisserie, like French and all that. With the cherry, it gives off that vibe as well. So Daniela Andrier created this in 2017. Daniela Andrier, she created this she was the person behind this in 2017, and it definitely has like a modern vibe, a modern edge to it, but the modern edge and modern vibe it gives off to me is like girly girl, valley girl, Y2K 2000s girl. You know, it just has that girly vibe. Locked On, Anne Filippo and Dominique Ropion created this in 2010. I believe it was the airport I smelled this the first time, and it smelled amazing. It was different. There was nothing out there like it at the time. Like they had a product sense back in the day, but it wasn't like this. Like this is very mainstream now. It's very popular because they just got it. They got this very well. Like they did a great job with this. The notes, the ingredients. I'm still letting the Prada candy dry down, so I'm not going to spray this yet. But let me just smell it first. Oh my goodness. Wow. It smells elegant. It smells elegant. It smells like a lady. It's classy. It's very, very classy. This one is more immature. Prada candy gloss. Prada candy, you know, in general, they're gourmand scents, right? It's kind of like Miss Dior Sherry, that range of perfume, that line of perfumes, very gourmand, very girly and feminine. But Miss Dior Sherry is slightly more sophisticated than Prada candies, in my opinion. The Prada candies are fun, and they do not smell very cheap and tacky to me. They do smell high end, but they're not like very stooshy. They're not very elegant and formal to me, in my opinion. They're more fun. They're like fun, but they're not stooshy like this. Not very classy. Especially the Prada candy gloss. This is very, very sweet, very feminine, very sweet. But the dry down. With the dry down, it starts to relax a little bit more and the fruitiness winds down a little bit. Now, the projection and sillage with this is not as strong as I would like it to be. For me, on a scale of 1 to 10, the projection for this would be 6.5 or 6.6 out of 10. How long does it last? I would say 3 or 4 hours on myself. Like I would have to respray this. I often find myself having to respray this. I'm gonna have to get a snack while I talk about this. But the snacks will complement the fragrances. So I just have some water. Such a heavy snack, I know. Oh, I'm so full, oh my goodness. So many calories. Some water and a cookie. And I'm good for the day. Just joking. So, you know, model diet. High fashion model diet. But, yeah, so Aqua Di Gioia. Giorgio Armani apparently had some villas in Pantelleria in Antigua in the Caribbean. So this is inspired by summer days there, spending some time there in the summer. And I do have some Caribbean heritage, so let me tell you, the Caribbean is definitely a place where you will get inspiration, where you will relax, where you will find some peace and serenity, depending on the island. Yeah, so I do have some Caribbean heritage, so I can understand why Armani, Giorgio Armani, who has some villas there, definitely got inspired to create a perfume based off of the aquatics of the Caribbean seas, of the Caribbean oceans, because I've been to the Caribbean, and I have family in the Caribbean, so I understand that. But like I was stating, the lemon in this fragrance is Amalfi lemon, and I didn't get a Caribbean vibe from this. I did not get a Caribbean vibe from this because it was missing the kind of Caribbean florals. In the Caribbean, they have their own florals, like hibiscus and certain plants and vegetation in the Caribbean, and I didn't find the florals in this match florals that are in the Caribbean. Hibiscus is more Caribbean, you know. Tamarind, an ingredient like tamarind, which is in Black Excess by Paco Rabanne, is more Caribbean or more Southeast Asian, because tamarind is an ingredient that we like to use in like tamarind chutney in the Caribbean. We like tamarind in certain desserts because it comes from the like East Indian influence in Trinidad and Tobago. Like in the Caribbean, we like tamarind and all that. We like hibiscus and certain like florals. So this to me is more European, more Mediterranean. I do not really get a Caribbean vibe from this. Now, if you're traveling to the Caribbean and on the beach and all that, it will definitely be nice because it's still aquatic, it's still very water, but the floral notes do not smell like the Caribbean to me. They don't smell like the Caribbean. Let's get into the notes, shall we? Let's get into the notes of Aqua Di Gioia. So, Amalfi, lemon, and mint are the top notes in Aqua Di Gioia. The middle notes are jasmine, peony, and pink pepper. I get a little bit of that pink pepper, yes. Peony, Jasmine, it's, for me, yes, I get a little hint of the jasmine, but thank goodness it's not very strong, and I'm glad it's not too strong, because that would, I can tell that would be an issue for people. If the jasmine was too strong in this, it will maybe turn people off of it. French labdanum, Virginia cedar, and brown sugar are the base notes. And overall, all the ingredients in this really gel well with each other and create a beautiful fragrance, and a unique fragrance as well, okay? It's clean, it's airy. This is appropriate for like a workplace environment, an office. Just be careful, it is quite strong. The projection of this, I would say, is 8 out of 10. It is quite strong, maybe like an 8.6 out of 10, the projection, or 8.8 out of 10. I would give it a high score in terms of projection. And the sillage is strong as well. So if you're spraying this, be careful, because like in a workplace environment, because it is very strong. Just because something's light in daytime does not mean it's not going to stink up the place. I mean, this thing you can be a bit heavy-handed with, because like I said, the sillage is a little bit weak with this one, but this one, very strong for a lightweight scent. And I've used these a lot in kind of like more formal settings, and I had to say, oh my goodness, like I would smell it on myself. Sometimes if you wear certain perfumes for a long period of time, you don't really smell it, you kind of get used to it. But with this one, I can definitely smell. It's quite strong, quite powerful for a daytime scent, which is good, because sometimes with daytime scents, we find them so lightweight, and we find them very sweet and light and airy, to the point that they kind of disappear on us. They kind of just ghost, vanish on us, right? So this one is not going to ghost and vanish on you. It will stay on you to like, it will even stay on your clothes, on your clothing. If you have a scarf or something, it will stay for a very long time. Long lasting, very, very good. Cherry, oh my cherry, oh Miss Sherry. Do I get a cough syrup cherry vibe from this perfume? Because a lot of people, when it comes to cherry scents, are very particular. They are very kind of like, hey, this reminds me of when I was a kid and I had a really bad cold and I wanted to stay home, and then my mom came and she gave me some cherry cough syrup and it tasted like hell, and I never wanted to. It was just as bad as the grape cough syrup. I never wanted to drink that again. Oh my god, it tastes like chemicals. It tastes disgusting. Oh my god, I can never get that taste out of my mouth. Now, does this cherry perfume have that effect? Because certain perfumes, a lot of people say, oh my god, cherry perfume, I hope it doesn't smell or remind me of the cherry cough syrup. Now, I do not get that vibe at all with this. I don't get that vibe with Guerlain, Petite Robe Noir. I don't get that vibe at all with Prada Candy Gloss. This cherry to me is like a pastry. It like smells like almonds and cherry. Like it smells like a dessert, like a Linzer cookie. It does not really have any kind of bad or negative cherry cough syrup vibes to it. No, it's very lightweight, and because it has vanilla in it and certain kind of florals in it, like and the fruitiness, like the peach, the orange blossom, like I don't really get a cough syrup cherry vibe at all. And I know what people mean by that, but to me, no, this is too like vanilla and like a pastry. It's kind of like a pastry. So no, I don't really get a cherry vibe to it. Especially like with the almonds, vanilla, orange blossom, no. Not at all. The cherry is a sour cherry. It's described as being sour, and I do smell it, the sourness, but it doesn't have that cough syrup effect, in my opinion, because of all the other ingredients that are added to this. Maybe if it was just sour cherry and that was the only ingredient, then yeah, but because of all the other ingredients in this, no. And also the dry down of this is very powdery, very, very powdery. The only thing that I don't really like in particular with Prada Candy Gloss is the peach. I'm not really a big fan of that. Orange blossom is okay. Orange blossom is fine, but the peach for me is not really my favorite note in this. Other than that, I love everything. I love the florals in it. I love how it doesn't smell exactly like a floral. I'm not really a person that's into floral scents. But I found these to be like floral scents that I could actually wear because it wasn't just florals in it. If something is just pure floral, I have a difficult time wearing it. That's why I need to get florals that have other ingredients. For example, Petite Robe Noir, you know, when it has the rose and all that, it has other things in it besides rose. If I'm getting an oud from the Middle East and that's a rose oud, it has like the vanilla. I want things that are different. I want things added to florals so that it's not straight up florals. Because I find florals very strong, very just a bit old-fashioned sometimes, but it's not my type of old-fashioned vintage scent. So when it comes to florals, I like things that are mixed in with the floral. That's why I like this one, because it has the sour cherry, vanilla, the musk and all that. And then this one has like, mint and pink pepper, lemon, citrus, you know. Yeah, so it's very nice, and I don't know why how it smells so aquatic like that, but I do enjoy it. This reminds me of like rolling around in a drop top, like around Palm Springs, Bel Air, you know, that movie White Chicks, Louis Vuitton, Baby Fat, rimless sunglasses, you know, Y2K era, Gwen Stefani, Tamagotchi, Harajuku, low riding denim mini skirts, Motorola razor, you know, the hot pink Motorola razor from back in the day, Paris Hilton, you know, it has that vibe, you know, ultra pink. It takes you back to that time, that Y2K era. It's finally, since it's been some time now, I'm getting the powdery effect, which I love, the powdery almond effect. And it's not as fruity anymore. I'm finally gonna spray this Aqua Di Gioia. Obviously, you know, I've used quite a bit of it, especially when it came to certain events or formal outings that I attended in the summer and spring months. I was wearing this. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, the lemon. Wow. The Amalfi lemon. Amalfi lemon is so amazing. The other florals are so amazing as well. Now, I know I was talking about mints and whatnot. It doesn't have a very green effect. Maybe just the slightest green effect to it. But very refreshing, very like, but refreshing in a classy way, like a champagne refreshing, not summer spritzer with champagne added to it refreshing, you know? A spritzer and champagne, that's what it reminds me of. Some people describe it as a mojito. It might have a smell of mojito. I kind of get that a little bit with this. It kind of reminds me of a mojito, the lemon and the mint, because those are the top notes, lemon and mint. Oh my goodness. Wow, it's really nice. I do like this a bit more than Prada Candy. These are both eau de parfums. Eau de toilette, I don't really, personally I don't really like getting eau de toilette. I rather get the strong eau de parfums, especially if I'm dealing with more daytime fragrances, which tend to be a little bit lighter than unisex fragrances. Now, as someone that generally likes unisex fragrances, like I mentioned in a past video in my Alien by Thierry Mugler, in that video I believe I discussed ouds, and I'm someone that likes Middle Eastern ouds from the Middle East. Those tend to be quite unisex because of the agar wood. Unisex scents to me are very versatile. Now, I do find this perfume to be versatile, and for this one, it's versatile, but only for the daytime. This you can get away with wearing in the evenings, but this is versatile when it comes to daytime things. You can wear this with anything, even a white t-shirt and blue jeans, because it has a crisp, fresh smell to it. This one, on the other hand, I feel like I can't wear anything dark and edgy with it for obvious reasons. Like I said, the unisex perfumes I really enjoy, and I do like sometimes wearing darker, more vampy looks, and this clearly doesn't really go with dark vampy looks. I mean, you can wear it with something dark and vampy, by all means go ahead, but for myself, because it's so girly and, you know, it's so like Paris Hilton, Valley Girl, white girls, or white chicks, that movie White Chicks. I know it's which is stereotypical, but you know, LA girl, you know, pre-Kardashian BBL era, the Y2K era, the slim figured era, you know, that era. So that's what it reminds me of, and because of that, when I wear it, I'm kind of conscious of what I wear it with. I don't wear it with dark looks for obvious reasons. I would maybe choose something more vampy or oriental with a dark look. I would choose something more unisex or an oud with a dark vampy look. So yes, these, I like wearing light colors, like light colored clothing with these fragrances. Summertime, beachy. You can wear like resort wear, lounge wear in summer kind of loungewear, or you can wear like, you know, like a lounge robe, light colored robe. You can wear light colored clothing, Y2K clothing with this, butterfly tops, low-riding jeans, rimless sunglasses, pink tracksuit, tracksuits from the matching tracksuits, top and bottom. Yeah, so, you know, Suki from Fast and Furious 2, Suki, that character Suki, you know, she was in that all pink car, you know, it has that vibe, and she had those like low-rider pants, very on point for that era. I think that movie came out in like 2002 or something, 2003. Yeah, so summer barbecues, cookouts, brunch with the girls, tea with the girls. This is also good for brunch and tea with the girls. This is good for high tea with your friends because it's more classy. This is more, is this juvenile? Is this juvenile and is this like immature? Yes, it is a little bit. It's more for younger girls, clearly, but because it's not sophisticated. It's just sweet. It's just sweet, sugary. It's like candy. Out of all the Prada candy ones, this one actually smells like candy to me the most. The other ones, like the original Prada candy, is more caramel, right? It's more kind of like a pastry, but this is very like candy, cherry candy. It smells like pastry. It smells like a French patisserie, a little bit like a dessert that you would get in a French patisserie. And this smells like a southern France summer, like Mediterranean, the south of France, Cannes, Nice. It smells like the south of France. So the southern parts of Europe, Greece, and you know, the aquatic blue waters in Greece, Santorini, the southern parts like Italy, Sicily, you know, those kinds of countries. This is what it reminds me of. Ibiza in Spain, Ibiza, like party time, Saint-Tropez, like it has that vibe. And this one is definitely LA girl, Valley girl, blonde hair, you know, French tips. I know I'm getting really into the stereotypes, but that's the vibe it gives off. And then it gives off the kind of like sweet sugar candy vibe at the same time. If you want to embrace your feminine nature, feminine side, which we as women like to suppress or just kind of dish off to the side because we're trying to accomplish and do a lot, these fragrances will help you embrace your femininity more. It will bring out that girly girl within you. This is the more sophisticated. This is a little bit more immature, but it is fun. It is fun, it is sweet, and these are both very girly and feminine. So if you want to embrace your feminine energy, feelings, and feminine nature, girly side, you know, get dressed up side, getting your hair done side, getting your makeup, whatever, taking care of yourself, your feminine nature, just as much as you take care of your family, just as much as you take care of your career, your job, just as much as you take care of your household, your children, whatever. If you wanna embrace your feminine side, then these perfumes will help with that. It will invoke that in you, especially if it's been lacking within you, if you've been ignoring it, suppressing it, to accomplish and be a productive citizen, then, you know, try these perfumes out because it will invoke that back within you. If that light has been dimmed down in you, try wearing those fragrances like these, you know, to bring it out more and to heal and recharge those sides of yourself. I like unisex scents, and every individual on this planet has masculine and feminine energy. So even within women, we have masculine energy. That's why I do like unisex scents, especially, you know, if I'm wearing a leather jacket, if I'm feeling edgy, I like a unisex scent. But some days I'm like, oh, you know, I'm still a woman, I'm still a female, and I don't mind the feminine qualities that I have. You know, it helps, it inspires me, it gives me creativity, those feminine sides of me. It helps me dream, it helps me make art, it helps me express myself in a feminine way. So if I want to bring out those feminine qualities more in my art or in my day-to-day life, then I will try to wear fragrances like this, just remind me of those feminine qualities instead of the full-on unisex, you know, indiscreet in unisex scents. This one is just, these are girly scents for sure, and slightly modern as well, very modern scents as well. And yeah, so they're not seductive. They're not seductive and vampy, but they're nice for dates. Like they're nice for, you know, if you're trying to make a good first impression, maybe like for an interview, a tiny little bit of this would be good because it's professional. But these are both approachable, which is good because sometimes unisex scents or things like Alien by Thierry Mugler, very out there, weird, quirky scents, are not the most approachable. But these are friendly, these are very approachable and friendly. If you're a very extroverted person, this will probably be good for you, like maybe a Leo, like a fire sign Leo, or Aries or Sagittarius, or maybe like a Libra, like, you know, someone that's very social, like a social butterfly. I can see wearing scents like this. A social person in a professional setting will do well with this one, and like a girly girl, a socialite will do well with this one. Someone that probably attends certain kind of fashion shows and stuff will probably like this as well. Yeah, but these are not sultry, seductive scents. Clearly they're for the daytime. If it's my time of the month, or if it's like a time where I'm kind of feeling antisocial and don't really want to be approached by someone, I'm probably not gonna wear these. I'm probably gonna wear something that's just very, you know, like Alien by Thierry Mugler, something that's just unisex. If I don't want to be approached by people, you know, I'm just having a really crappy day, I'm probably not going to be wearing these because, you know, if I'm feeling moody, you know, obviously I don't want to smell like approachable and girly and friendly and bright and all that, you know. But, you know, this could be worn every single day in the daytime. There was a time like in springtime when I was wearing this almost every day because it's so spring, it's so summer. And that's why almost all of this is gone. Even though it's quite strong, I think I oversprayed this a little bit because it's very strong, very potent, and I don't have to spray so much of it because, like I was saying, the projection is quite strong. Sillage, it's long lasting. You can still find Prada Candy Gloss even if it is discontinued in certain countries, and even if you know, because they just canceled it recently, and it's still like a newer perfume. It came out in 2017. This is, you can find almost anywhere. Since it came out in 2010 and was so popular for so many years and has stood the test of time and is like something that everyone just wants to repurchase, you can always find this on the market, like everywhere. You can find the vintage ones, the older formulas, and then you can get the new formula, depending on what you prefer. The age range for Aqua Di Gioia by Giorgio Armani, I would say, is between the ages of 18 to 44. This one, I'd say, is for like teenagers or women in their 20s. Like, it's a little bit immature. It's a little bit childish. Does this smell cheap and tacky? Is it very, very immature to the point where it smells cheap and tacky, or it smells like a body spray? In my opinion, no. This does not smell like body spray. Like I said it earlier, it smells like a dessert that you would get in a French patisserie. A French patisserie, it is like a cherry pie, cherry dessert. So no, I haven't ever gotten any kind of body spray in the past that would ever live up to this. Nope. This flanker to the OG Prada Candy Gloss, is definitely a bit immature. However, that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. When I was describing this as being like Legally Blonde, as being Suki from Fast and Furious, like Y2K, Valley Girl, bleach blonde in a bottle. You know, obviously it has a little bit of a synthetic edge. It has a little bit of a immature edge to it, but that doesn't mean I hate it. Like I said, it reminds me of many things from the past. Disney Channel, living in the Y2K era, 2000s clothing and fashion. And also, you know, this is described as being the sorbet-like scent. Like, it's described by Prada as being sorbet, syrupy sweet, cherry, sour cherry. The cassis is basically black currants and blackberries. That's what that note is, or what's in the cassis note is basically black currants and blackberries. So that's why, of course, as someone that just loves berries in scents and fragrances, like for example, I love, this is a darker one, I love Black Perfecto by Guerlain, which is another cherry scent. Like, I just love anything with cherries, and I really, really, really love Scandalous by Victoria's Secret. That was the only Victoria's Secret perfume I would buy and wear. There was nothing like it. Legally Blonde, Bottle Blonde, you know. This definitely, since I'm describing it as like the kind of quirky Y2K style, Harajuku style, blonde in a bottle, you know, like French tips. Obviously, I'm discussing artificial things, you know, enhancements, and a certain aesthetic and vibe that certain women were going for in the Y2K era. So yes, you know, because I'm describing it as that, clearly there's a little bit of a syntheticness to this. A little bit. There's a little bit of a artificial vibe to this, but that doesn't mean like it's like tacky and cheap entirely, because the dry down is quite powdery. The dry down is quite powdery, and the notes are, I'd say, well blended. I get a little bit of alcohol scent in there, but not like body spray, no. I'm trying to see like that black currant and the cassis, the blackberries and stuff. I don't really, maybe the sour cherry is stronger than those notes. I only get a little bit of it. I definitely can smell the peach in it, which I'm not a fan of, like I said earlier. Orange blossom is nice. This is definitely nice for pool parties. Like I said, if you are in LA, this is like an LA vibe, or LA it girl throwback. This is the it girl from the 2000s, not the Kardashian BBL era. No. This is like the Paris Hilton, the Hills, you know, that kind of era, Disney Channel. That's So Raven era, you know what I'm talking about, right? For me, this is pop culture in a bottle. That is why I chose this flanker over the OG caramelly Prada Candy. That's why I chose this one, because it really stood out to me. Sometimes I like buying things that just stand out, that just are different, that grab my attention. And if I find something a bit too generic, a bit too like I smelled this before, or like it's gonna fade into the background, then I'm not gonna be the type of person to want to purchase something like that. I rather purchase something that has a little bit of a uniqueness to it, a little bit of an edge to it. Even though this is, like I stated, a little bit tacky and all that, it's still high end to me. It does not smell like any kind of body spray you can get. It doesn't smell too cheap. It doesn't smell like body spray or cheap perfume. It just has a bit of syntheticness to it. a bit of artificialness to it, but it is not entirely artificial. That's why, you know, some people might give this a low score or just say that they don't really like it because like it is a high-end perfume, or described as being high-end. It's the Prada candy line, and it will be one of the more expensive perfumes. However, people might not agree with the price, or might think it's overpriced because it's slightly synthetic or it's slightly artificial. So they might say, oh well, it shouldn't even be at that price. And I understand that, because if something is artificial and stuff, it's like, well, you know, it should be a little bit cheaper. But I think it's the name, you know, the Prada name, where once you attach a certain brand name onto something, obviously they're gonna be charging more just for the brand name. However, there's no other perfumes like Prada candy. There's no like copycats, or like I've smelled certain dupes, but it doesn't live up to the OG Prada candies. They don't really live up to the OGs. Yeah, so summer pool parties, barbecues. If you're in LA, like Los Angeles, or you want to have that LA Y2K vibe, then this is good. Oh my goodness. See, 2 sprays is quite heavy-handed with this, but just even 1 spray just does it. Like, you don't really have to go all out with this because it's quite strong and potent. Projection is amazing. It's amazing for like a lightweight scent. But you know, there's certain aquatics out there that are definitely good in terms of projection and all that. I think this is just this kind of aquatic, Aqua Di Gioia. Aqua Di Gioia is a more approachable aquatic for a wider range of people. I've seen many people wearing this because it's like, it has a little bit of green in it as well, but this is like approachable for many kinds of people, compared to other aquatic scents I've smelled. Like, I've smelled some really beautiful, very like niche aquatic scents that you will never find on the market, like just the mainstream perfume market, like very niche, very well blended, you know, the ingredients nice, very luxurious smelling. However, they are not for everyone. Like, you can't blind buy those types of fragrances. You have to try them there in the moment. This, on the other hand, I don't recommend you blind buying this, and I don't recommend you blind buying this either. However, I see this as being an aquatic that is more approachable than some of the other niche aquatics. That's why this is so mainstream, because the way that this is blended, some people might say it's a little bit generic, but I find it's a little bit unique. I find it has a like unique edge to it, but which a lot of aquatics do, because aquatics and certain green fragrances are just, a lot of them are one of a kind that you can't find everywhere. It's just that this one, because of the florals and all that, it's a little bit more approachable to a grander audience than certain aquatic fragrances, especially if it's like a very expensive aquatic fragrance from a very niche perfume company, very like, maybe like in Europe, even in like the Amalfi Coast, like, or some perfume company in France. Like, you know, this would be more affordable to a wider audience, a wider range of people, because certain niche fragrances can go for a lot of money. They are beautifully blended. They are one of a kind. They are unique. You won't find anything like it, and the ingredients are top-notch, like high-quality, top-notch ingredients. However, not everyone has the budget for that, right? So this is definitely more approachable for people's budgets. Now, these are eau de parfums, and they are high-end and obviously more expensive, but if you're on a budget, then you can always try the eau de toilette if you think this is your kind of perfume, or these are your kind of perfumes, then you can go for the eau de toilette, which will always be a little bit more cheaper, or just like a smaller size of a perfume will be a little bit more cheaper as well. I recommend you always try perfumes if you can. I know blind buying can be fun, it can be like a surprise, but I believe that when it comes to perfumes, it's better to just try it if possible. I know, like, depending on the country, you're not going to get access to every single perfume, but I do recommend trying these out before purchasing. Now this sadly is discontinued, but you will still be able to purchase it, like I was saying before. It was only recently discontinued, and this is still a newish, you know, 2017, so it's not too old, so you'll still be able to find it. I do like the original Prada candy, and I do think it's worth buying. It's just that I haven't really gotten into it like I did with this one. Like, I don't know, it faded into the background with me, and this one kind of stood out. This one had some kind of a vibe to it. This one definitely had a vibe to it, which is why I chose it over the original. Yeah, and this, you know, it has a little bit of rose. It also has a rose and musk in it, so if you're someone that likes rose and fruit together, you know, this will be nice as well. Pantelleria, the island in Sicily, that's where Armani has some villas, and you know, like I was stating before earlier in the video, the Amalfi lemon, you know, the aquatic kind of vibe, but this definitely comes from the Mediterranean, like the Italian coast, like even like, to me, it reminds me of Cyprus and Crete. It reminds me of Santorini, of course, the Italian coast, because Giorgio Armani and all that is all about the Italian vibe. Clearly, like the name and all that is Italian. Pantelleria, the island in Sicily, and Amalfi Coast in Italy, you know, this is definitely kind of associated with that area. So it does kind of have that Southern European vibe, like sunset, Southern European getaways and vacations there, sunbathing there, like, you know, those old Italian movies. Reminds me of those old Italian movies sometimes, where, even though this isn't a vintage scent, but I'm just kind of thinking about those now, because those movies have an impact on pop culture a little bit, not really American pop culture, but just European culture, European cinema, European films, you know, in the south of France, like Cannes and Nice, definitely you see it in a lot of like those European films, or even British films, because it's a popular destination for tourists. Amalfi Coast is very, very popular with tourists, and the southern parts of Italy. Pantelleria Island, definitely. Cyprus and Crete in Greece, very, very popular. And now I'm thinking of that song Trippin' by Andrea Balin. I don't know what country she's from, but I remember in the music video she had like a bunch of girls around her, and she was near this beautiful water that reminded me of Greece. Maybe it was Greece, some kind of, or near to Greece, but this, like, the turquoise water, you know, the color of Aqua Di Gioia is turquoise. I like the color of it, and I like how it's just simple and clean. Like, kind of reminds me of Virgo, that zodiac sign, Virgo, crisp and clean and fresh. Virgos are clean freaks, like hygiene freaks. Like, I know they don't want like people calling them out on that, like on their OCD. This definitely reminds me of that song by Lil Mama, Lip Gloss, from the 2000s era. And in the Y2K 2000s era, lip gloss was very popular. Everyone liked wearing lip gloss because, well, I don't know the reason for it, but it was just very trendy. There was different flavors of lip gloss. It was like what you had to get. Like, it was something you had to get. Even if you were younger during that time, they had the like tween teeny bopper version. And MAC was very popular as well in the 2000s. MAC was a popular makeup company and brand. So this just kind of brings me back to that time. Now the dry down of Aqua Di Gioia is lovely. With the dry down, I do start to smell the cedar wood even more. Like, the woodsiness of this perfume comes out with the dry down, the cedar wood. Does it turn more green with the dry down? Not really. No, it doesn't. It does change, but I find that the wood comes out more with the dry down. What about the florals? Let's see. It gets a little bit smoky, which is really, really nice because with that smoky edge, it gives it a kind of like a muskiness, a woodsy muskiness that doesn't make this like sickeningly sweet, which is great because sometimes the sickeningly sweet scents can be a bit of a headache. They can kind of be very overpowering, and there is a time and a place for ultra sweet scents. There's a vibe and certain locations and places you kind of go to when you want to wear sickeningly sweet scents, right? So that's why this is definitely good for everyday wear. It doesn't lean in one direction. Like, it's aquatic, but it has some green to it, and it has some floral, so it's very diverse. That's why, you know, a lot of people can approach this and enjoy it. They can definitely enjoy that jasmine, you know, but not too much jasmine, because a lot of people have sometimes issues with perfumes with too much jasmine in them. It's like very heavy jasmine, but the jasmine in here is like, it's nice, but it's not gonna overpower and overbear everything else. You know, it's just a nice addition, a nice note. The main notes, like I was stating before for this, is the Amalfi lemon and the mint. So those are the opening. Those are the strongest, but they do die down a bit. They do die down a bit later on, because like I said, this gets a bit more, slightly more green and woody and musky. Develops nicely on the skin. Let this settle on your skin for, I'd say, 30 minutes. Because yes, you know, when you first spray a perfume, you're like, you kind of, a lot of people just make up their mind automatically. They just automatically make up their mind. Oh my God, on the first spray, they don't let it settle down. Just give it some time. Like, are you in a rush? You know, if you're not in a rush, take your time with it. Let it settle down on the skin. Let it penetrate and mix in with the natural oils in your skin before you make up your mind and decide, oh my God, I don't like this. Just give it some time. All good things take some time to develop and to marinate, right? So, oh my goodness, the Prada Candy Gloss is so nice and powdery right now. It's like such a beautiful powder. Like, oh my goodness, I love the powdery touch, the powdery finish. I don't like every powdery kind of scent out there, but this one is nicely done because of the cherry and all that, all the notes in it. Yeah. Are these scents provocative, sexy? Are these scents like something that guys would like. I mean, they're approachable and friendly, but they're not seductive. They're not like vampy and mysterious clearly, but they do have a fun, flirty edge to them, of like daytime fun, flirty. This one would be nice in the bedroom. This one, like to me, is a bit too kind of professional, a bit too kind of like for like social events. So I could see myself wearing this like in the bedroom. This is more like a daytime thing. This you can like wear with some cute lingerie, or you can wear with like a cute nightgown, like a lace nightgown or something very girly. And guys would like this because it's very sweet, but it's not vampy, it's not seductive or mysterious. It's just very sweet and gourmand. Very sweet and gourmand. So I mean, but I can see both men and women really liking this on other people and finding it's very pleasant to be around. This has a bit of a glossiness to it, a little bit of a Y2K lip gloss edge or vibe, because clearly this is all Y2K ultra pink, right? Lil Mama lip gloss, yeah, like all that music, all that pop culture from the 2000s, you will get reminded of it with this. This is not going to be everyone's favorite, but this has the ability to be everyone's favorite because it has stood the test of time, and it will continue to do so. Even with a reformulation, I can still see people picking it up and buying it, even though some people are like, oh, I don't really like the reformulation of Aqua Di Gioia by Giorgio Armani, but I think that like I think it's okay. I don't think it's that terrible. I don't think it's that bad. And yeah, so that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video on Prada Candy Gloss and Aqua Di Gioia. I will be doing more perfume reviews in the future, and I have other beauty videos on this channel that you're free to check out when you have time. And if you do like this type of content, subscribe and click the bell notification to get updates on when I post new videos.